a few years ago, she did one for diabetes, and it was, I was fortunate enough to have the original that's hanging over my fireplace that she donated to the Diabetes Association as a silent auction item. And through the evening, one of the other gals that was at the event and I kept upping each other, and finally she said, "You really want that, don't you?" And I said, "Yes, I do, but apparently you do too." And she said, "Well," she says, I was bidding it up for because we need more money than that." And I said, "All right," but she said, "I'll put down one more bid if you promise to outbid me." And I said, "That's a deal." So she put down a bid, I outbid her, and it's been in my living room ever since. And it's a wonderful piece, of course. All right, so we are, if Claudia would come up, she's going to give us an update on the NACCC.
Lower it down for short. Not that short. Okay. A lot is going on in the NACCC this year. Of course, last year we had the big vote. We could finally do the restructuring because we got our NA tax exemption cleared up. For those of you who don't know, it seems that way back when the NACCC was formed, we never actually got the tax exempt status cleared. And so for all these years we've been going along blithely thinking we had that, and when we didn't. So that got cleared up, and we were then had the green light to go ahead with our structure change. And so that happened officially this year. So the new structure is now in place and going great guns. So now we're in the process of getting our new executive director selected. And I have the honor of being the chairman of the group doing the selecting. And we are at the end of that process. I will be going to Olivet on May 17th to interview our final candidates for that. We are feeling real good about the candidates that we have, and so that's where we're at with that. But in addition to selecting a new executive director, we will also be having a new editor of the Congregationalist this year. Larry Summers is retiring from that position. So that will be, we have a search committee that is looking for a new editor for that. In addition to that, the foundation will be looking for a new head for their group. So all of the top staff will be being replaced this year. We have a new leader for our CFTS, which is the Congregational Fellowship for Theological Study, and that's, okay, I can remember this.
Starts with.
Oh, come on.
We can play charades.
Go on and talk about something else.
Yeah, it'll come to me about 3 o'clock in the morning, and I'll see how it goes.
Yeah. Don't call me.
Yeah. Call me, I'll be
We all
awake.
know him. Oh, for crying out loud. Anyway, we have a new head for CFTS, and I'll think about it, and I'll get up and let you know. Anyway, he's been appointed and was just announced, and so that is ongoing now and looking good. So the status for the NA is looking up, but it will be a big year of change for the NA, and hopefully good change. We're very positive about the direction it's taking. Any questions you want to ask me? No, nobody knows enough to ask any. Hopefully that's going to be changing. We have a system of year-round delegates, and that has been kind of off to a rocky start, but again, we hope that system will pick up to keep you more informed about what's going on with your national association. Okay? Yes, Deb.
I guess I have never attended a meeting before this, so I'm probably not good to speak. But what is that new direction that NA is going to be taking, and you know, what is the NA doing this year?
Right. before, the National Association was made up of an executive board that had 12 members. And they were responsible for the monetary makeup of the association. And under them, there were a number of divisions. And those divisions were responsible for the CFTS and the Division for Ministry and the Missionary Society, and various functions of the NA. And those divisions were essentially separate groups under that. And there were also some commissions that did things, as far as communication and that kind of thing. The new setup, you have a board of directors that will be responsible for the financial functioning of the group. They will make all the financial decisions for the National Association. And you have a leadership board, and they're made up of representatives from ministry councils. And these 3 ministry councils will be responsible for more of the creative functioning of the body. They'll be responsible for the CFTS group and the missionaries and all the other functions that the NA does. You're looking questioning, Deb. Go ahead.
No, CFT, I don't know what.
I'm sorry, the Congregational Foundation for Theological Study. I shouldn't use those. The seminary part of our group, because we don't have a seminary, but we do have a group that helps to train our ministers in the congregational way. So that's sort of our mini seminary, if you will. We have a body that will work with our ministers if they need help in any way. Hurting ministers or ministers that need financial aid or that kind of thing. These bodies will deal with our missionaries and help them. These bodies will work with our Christian education people if they need any help. So there are these 3 entities. They will help plant churches. This is the creative side. And that's what these bodies will be responsible for. So they don't need to worry about the money. Then in addition, you've got the foundation. And the foundation's money is to worry about the financial future of the NA. Where down the line, how are we going to invest money? They're worried about people who want to leave an endowment. They can invest it with the foundation. Can we get $1 million out of somewhere? How can we invest that?
Do we have money in that foundation?
As far as I'm aware, this church does not. I have personally set up so that when I die, a certain amount of money will go to the foundation. And I would urge any of you to do the same thing. That's available. That's the kind of thing. Of course, they're looking for millionaires, which I'm not one. But they're also looking for the small contributions, because that is going to firm the foundation for the NA in the future. Yeah, Verona?
From my understanding, I thought that the church, like for example, the membership of each church would contribute so much money towards the NACC.
Right.
And
We
so
contribute
how
to
does
the
that-
general fund.
Not the foundation.
Not the foundation. We contribute, and that's for the operating cost of the NA. That pays for the executive secretary's salary. That pays for to keep the lights on at the office and paid for. We have a couple of assistants, Carrie Dawn, Linda Miller, Marie. Yeah, Marie. And all of them. I'm so bad with names. So we have a few staff people. For example, will pay for my trip back to all of that. So it pays for, the operating expenses.
We are, every month, I write a check to the NA. And we are what's called a fair share church. In other words, we give a certain percentage based on the number of members of this church.
Right.
And contribute to that general fund, and that's part of the budget.
Right.
But not all of the 400 in some churches
Right.
contribute to that, so.
In order to be a member of the National Association, you must contribute something, but it is not specified that you have to contribute a certain amount. So that we have some churches that are not fair share, although they may contribute as little as $1. But we have some churches that are fair share, and I believe the fair share now is $14 a person, I think. And we have some churches that are fair share plus, which means they contribute more than that. Some considerably more than that.
Are the main offices still in the Milwaukee area?
They're still in Oak Creek, Wisconsin.
So did they
It's
sell that
down.
building?
Not yet.
You're trying to sell the building?
It is for sale.
But it's completely, it's
Right.
downsized, there's only one
Right, yeah.
with the new.
Yeah, they're trying to sell,
restructure.
yeah, they're trying to sell the building. With the restructuring, right now, the board of directors have determined that the Center for Congregationalism and the executive director will be housed in Olivet. There will still be an office in Milwaukee where a few of the associates or administrative assistants will be housed, but it will be a very downsized office. Any other questions? Okey dokey, thank you.
Just FYI, if you, the NA annual meeting is in Salt Lake City at the end of June, and I have the packet, so if you are interested in seeing all of the wonderful things that happen at an NA annual meeting, stop by the desk.
Definitely worth going to.
And there is also, in the latest Congregationalist, in the middle of it is an entire packet. So you can read the workshops that are being offered as, and it will go out hopefully next week. There will be something in an email to look at those workshops and see what your board or you personally are interested in learning more about or want to make certain that one of us attends that particular workshop. Obviously, there's more than one workshop that goes on at the same time. It would be nice if we could be at every one of them, but I've tried it, it doesn't work. But as I have in the past, I've encouraged you to email in your concerns or your questions and have made certain that that particular workshop is covered and that your questions were answered. They're often the topic in the workshop is a little deceptive. Sometimes I go to a workshop and I think that it's going to give me one piece of information, and it actually gives me an interesting piece of information, but it's just not the one that somebody asked to have a question answered by. So, but when now with the new structuring in place, I think that it will be easier. The website for the National Association has been completely revamped. It's much more user-friendly. Before it was very difficult, and we are going to work on our website here to make it friendlier and have more information on that website so that we're not just emailing it or trying to put it all in the bulletin or something. So there's lots of information on the web. So without further ado,
Sure.
My assistant
Your
is coming
assistant,
around
yes.
fast. Hand out, so let me get a little water.
so please welcome Reverend Mary Cook.